Vivian Bacos from Blondish. She's a Canadian woman, DJ, music producer, activist, a crypto nerd, promoter, producer of a lot of things. I'm really glad to make this interview with her because I've met her quite a long time ago, and I really admire what she does in every single field that she is related to. So welcome, Vivian.
Hi, Danny. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me, guys.
Did you always wanted to work in music?
My journey into music started really with my parents at a really young age. I think, you know, they were always having parties, and you know, you just being around that energy. There was also this area of my house where you had like an amplifier, a record player, all the gadgets basically, but also my dad had a reel-to-reel player. Like he loved the reel-to-reel, and he used to make, I figured out my dad was actually a DJ. Like he used to, like, you know, you record from the radio, from his vinyls, and you know, record it onto a reel-to-reel tape. And you know, when you're a kid, when you're like 3-4 years old, and you look at this, that it looks like a spaceship, right? The reel-to-reel. So I got really intrigued by this area of the house and pushing all those buttons when my parents weren't home. And one day I went to my mom's sewing kit because I couldn't turn on the record player, and I started turning the record myself and put the needle there, and I heard sound, you know, like as a 5-year-old kid. So that realization, or that discovery of hearing music, of, you know, I discovered something. And as a child curiosity, that really stuck with me. And I think that was really the seed that got me into music. But honestly, I feel like I've had music in all of my past lives in some capacity.
How would you describe your mission as an artist and activist?
I guess they all go hand in hand. I mean, everything I do, honestly, is just it's a game now. I just figured out I'm playing a game, and the game is to get to happy world, and all of us to get there, or whoever wants to come on the journey. The activism just plays into that, because I mean, it's about being more in tune with ourselves and more balanced with nature. And when we kind of lost that, and by plastic really helps our dance floors become more imbalanced. It's mixing my passion with a purpose. And when that intersection is a really nice place to discover, because there's a lot of magic there, and just through the people you meet and the causes that you support, and kind of the missions. When you have a common goal with someone and you're working on a movement, it also deepens those relationships much more. And now we can use our dance floors to take action afterwards. Like for the longest time, I was playing in clubs and stuff, and we talked a lot about making change on the dance floor, but then afterwards there's no follow-up, there's no action. So actually set up that framework so that, you know, we can take those conversations and turn it into action through like bye plastic. But anyone can do this with any of their missions and goals.
What came up to you to doing this? I mean, what was your shock or trauma?
The trauma was, I'll never forget. It's just like when I discovered the needle with the record. Like, I'll never forget this moment of my life either. I was playing at Warungi in Itajaí in Brazil. And, you know, for those of you who are not familiar with this club, it's on the cliff in a lush like jungle, 3,000 people in front of you. And like the sunrise is coming up over the cliff. And then as it's coming up, you see all the silhouettes of 3,000 people. And then the party's over, you know, they finish just after sunrise. And then I saw like a pile of plastic water bottles, like really high with the sunrise coming through, and like these robot cleaners, like sweeping the floor, like bringing more bottles and higher. And it was just me, the water bottles, the mountain of water bottles, and the beautiful sunrise in one of the most beautiful lush jungles of the world. And I was like, you know what, I can actually change something about this. I know everyone in the music industry, from one phone call away, like with some effort, like we can actually make change here.
That's the moment where you started to be more driven by environmental issues, no? or did you
That
before?
was the moment. No, that was the moment. I was on the path, you know what I mean? You know, I started meditating in 2011. And you just, once you start meditating, you start to be more in tune with yourself and with nature. So then you start, those kind of things start to come out, you know what I mean?
What does travel mean to you? How do you strive to travel more sustainable?
I mean, we're taking, actually, there's this Antarctica trip next month, and it's in, you know, it uses 80% less fuel than regular boats. So I'm excited to be going on this trip. But I also work with 2 different programs, so that when I do travel, I'm offsetting it or removing the actual carbons from the atmosphere or from the soil. The new way I remove my carbons is actually with Nori, Nori. They actually create NFTs of carbon removals. So you can purchase an NFT, and then in the background, they have these relationships with different farmers, mostly in the US, where they actually sequester the carbon from the soil. So that's a nice new way. And, you know, Bioplastic has been exploring different partnerships with them. But that's kind of the new Web3 way to remove your carbons. And, you know, because I'm so deep involved in crypto now. So Bioplastic also is helping a lot of these big conferences like AVAX and ETH Barcelona and in Vegas. You know, because culture is, and music is being injected right now into the crypto space, like that there's this world colliding there. And Bioplastic is there to activate them from the ground up right away to be plastic free. So, I mean, it's incredible because they're so inviting. Also, the crypto projects they have similar ethos to us.
I see that you already have your own currency, no? Or am I
Ish.
confused?
Yeah, Ish is all a part of the game. So there's this whole concept we'll roll out with Ish. It's called Dance to Earn. So basically, you can now come to my gigs, buy a ticket, and dance and have a good time as you usually do. But then if you want to go deeper and explore the whole Web3 construct and how we gamify this whole process around the token to go to Happy World, you can actually have a tiny app on your phone, and it tracks your dance steps while you're at the party, and that earns you Ish, which you can use for, yeah, so you can use Ish for many different things, and it gives you access in Sandbox, in IRL, for tickets, for music, for unreleased edits, for like there's a whole game happening. Like this whole Web3 movement has, and with NFTs, has enabled me to evolve my music artistry, the way I produce music, the way I approach music. You know, it really helps also to bring a different type of emotion to the tracks I'm building for the dance floor. You know, because once you start opening up different dimensions, like working with 3D artists, so you have now an XYZ plane to work with, you really start to put different methodology in how you make the music, and like making music for different blockchain games and what emotions you want to fill. So like that process has been really nice for me because you're installing a lot more thought into the process. It's less linear, like, okay, I need to make people dance. But then that knowledge you can bring back to your club music.
I think right now the NFT world is giving back to the artist a lot.
Totally. The Web3 and NFTs, we have no idea what it's going to be like in 5 years. That's why it's so important to experiment with the technology. You know what I'm saying? Like start with the art if that's the only way you understand it. But then as you start to learn the technology, it'll start to open up different doors and you'll find your way. But to miss this opportunity or just write it off as something that's not for you or whatever is the greatest miss in history. I'm telling you, if you're a musician or an artist.
If there's anything else that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, of course, with Bye Bye Plastic, we're, you know, we're aligning different partners on our Road to Million campaign. We basically figured out a way to beat the oil industry at their own game, so that we can actually truly make our dance floors plastic free. So if you want to get involved with that or be a potential partner, just please reach out to us. And also with the whole Happy World game, if anyone wants to learn more about Web3, NFTs, there's a whole community of us on Discord in the Abracadabra-ish Discord. Feel free to come there because we're super excited to bring artists and show them what is possible in this whole new space.